The biggest challenge is what you can't control. Let's see if we could go on it.
Yeah.
It will keep doing this all day, hopefully.
Yeah.
Just picture right here is going to be a two-family, up and down style. What if the market crashed while you're building a house? I have 5 houses I'm building. There's not a lot of younger generation people want to get into trade schools. To build something out of nothing, it is something that is so amazing. To be able to pour back into the community and make a difference in their community as well. So about 9:44 this morning and Friday morning, we're just heading out to take a look at a few of the projects that we're managing right now. Just check on everything, make sure everything is good.
You can explain to those who don't know you, what is it exactly that you do, and what would today's schedule look like?
So I started in real estate in 1998. I purchased my first property and fixed it up and started the whole kind of movement before the actual flip this house and fix and flip homes and projects like that. I started flipping homes in the early 1998 till now, and now what I do is I basically buy land and I subdivide. I build new homes and new construction, and we own a couple companies, one being the real estate company that my wife Christine manages, and the one I manage is Capstone Builders, and we work hand in hand, 2 sister companies, and we develop new opportunities, provide jobs for a lot of people, and we have fun doing it.
On a typical day, is it just like today, driving by yourself and receiving calls all the time, thinking about the next project, or is it something that you do while you're driving?
So like a normal day, it will be like today, honestly, by myself.
Yeah.
Like you saw today, like so many calls that come in that somebody that wasn't supposed to be on site, they show up because they have some opening in their schedule, then I'll have to rearrange the other guy behind them and so on and so forth to make sure they stay on task and not bump into each other and create a problem, and then coordinate with the person that's going to come after them to give them a timeline approximately when they need to be prepared, because anybody that's in the construction business, you can't make a call and have somebody show up right away. So I usually give my subcontractors 24 to 48 hours to be able to give them a heads up, or sometimes some of them say I won't be able to make it for a week, but at least they know that the project is ready for them. I communicate sometimes with them because they're busy on jobs with photos. Just take a photo and send it to them. It's louder than 1,000 words. They know that the foundation is ready, or the framing needs to start, or whatever the case may be, and just continue communication between everybody that's involved, because I'm almost like their dispatch.
Right.
And take a dispatch that's handling one project, multiply it by 5 or 6. Every single piece that moves, you have to move the person before it and after it. A lot of people just come in here for training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Christine's office that I've taken as my office. So I'll show you the software that I normally use.
Yeah.
This is a complete overview of every project that we have. I use this workflow software. It's called Mind Map. And I'm a visual person. If I see it, I'm able to absorb it and put it into task. And sometimes I just leave, nice reminders for myself, like follow-up list. This is what I need to do on a daily basis.
So Charbel, we're in your office right now, or your wife's office. What is one of the biggest misconceptions about this line of work?
That is, the first thing comes up on top of my head. This is a great way to get rich quick. And usually they come into my office, they sit down, they tell me that they're going to be quitting their job in the next month, and they're going to do this full time, and they're going to go after their passion. And usually this is where I'll be like, okay, let's put on the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's think about this. Let's think objectively. Let's look at your personal need, financial needs, and tailor a plan that gradually replaces your existing income. A lot of people do this part-time, not full-time. I usually would recommend 2 to 3 years before somebody goes in full-time into this business, just because of the learning curve, and to be able to scale to the point where your part-time income is exceeding your full-time job income. And that's what happened with me for the longest time. It took me 7 years to basically quit my full-time job and be able to do this full-time. My full-time job was to lend for mortgages, and most of my connections for the flips and for the new construction were coming from that. So it wasn't that I was doing something that I absolutely hated. I also loved, creating mortgages and working with investors, because I've learned so much from them. They were coaching me while I was lending them the money. So I learned the inside and out of underwriting and lending from the investors that I was working with, and that type of work coincided with what I do today.
So right here is the first house that I've ever bought. 1998.
Oh man.
And the three of us, me, the auctioneer, and then the assessor, were standing in line huddling.
Yeah.
Because the wind was blowing so cold. It was like 21 degree on the day that the auction. Nobody else showed up besides me. And I was able to buy this house right here for $4,500.
Wow.
Yeah, this was my first house.
Yeah.
I didn't have any more money, so it worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
That I didn't have a lot of money that a lot of people have, or the credit. So the $5,000 deposit that I had ended up buying me the house cash. And the auctioneer, for the first time he said in his life that he has to give a return. So he asked me, "Hey son, where do I send this $500 check to?" So I gave him a P.O. box that I had here in Worcester.
Yeah.
And he was able to send me that a few months later. Then handed me on the spot a deed. And I'm like, "What is this?" He said, "This is your ownership, the proof of ownership for the house. This is an auctioneer deed."
Yeah.
So he handed it to me right on site. And this became my home for 1 year. Not to live in, because squirrels were living in the house.
Wow.
It had no plumbing, it has no running heat, but it has electricity.
Yeah.
And I spent 1 year fixing it. Everything that you see in here is exactly how I left it. The new owner now had put new siding on it, but it was the same color before.
Yeah.
But I put the roof and the windows and all the plumbing, electrical, I completely renovated it over a 1 year period. I remember trading my first $400 truck. I had a Jeep Comanche, which is the Jeep Commander now.
Yeah.
And my roofer loved the truck, so I traded him the truck for the roof and $1,000.
Yeah.
I was begging, borrowing, pleading, bartering, everything I can to fix this house. A year later, I was able to sell this house for $120,000.
Wow.
It was an amazing blessing. I've never seen $100,000 net in my hand, or anybody from my family, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it was a huge blessing. I learned a lot of lessons in those early years, but I learned how to scale as well. So if just me by myself and a few subcontractors took us a year to fix this house, how much better it would be is if I hire some more people.
Yeah.
And the following year I was able to take that same investment and turn it into 3 properties where I hired more people to be able to do the work. But this is where it all started.
For someone who doesn't know anything about real estate, if you can give 1 or 2 pointers about what the market is like right now in 2022, and how do you anticipate this will change in the next year?
Yeah, great question. So it's